It's Monday, February 1st, 2021. I am Greg Nibbler, and this is 2Box Live. Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. Of course, this is 2Box Live, part of 2Box Media. So hit follow, subscribe, share, like, all that stuff that you normally do. We do appreciate that. I am Greg, and I will be your host today. So let's get started here with some news. This is what we like to do on Mondays, get you started for the week, let you know what is happening, and there's no doubt that Robinhood and everything associated with the entire stock exchange fiasco is still very much trending. And now we have Elon Musk weighing in. Big shocker, Elon Musk becoming a part of this now. However, it's not because he's influencing anything, but it's because he did an interview. So this is an impromptu interview that happened on a Clubhouse chat yesterday. So Clubhouse, if you're not on there, it is coming to Android, although for a lot of people, it's still having a little bit of trouble downloading that. But this was a huge thing that happened yesterday. So it was Elon Musk, ostensibly it was his interview where he was being interviewed about some different things that he is up to. There's a lot that Elon is up to, but somehow it transitioned into an interview of the Robinhood CEO, Vlad Tenev, about everything that's been happening. So it was Elon Musk doing the interview, and he asked Vlad pretty much straight up, explain what's going on. It seems kind of weird. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what Elon Musk asked him. And here's what we found out from this. So some more details about what actually went down and what led Robinhood to suspend trading on GameStop and on AMC and a number of other stocks. Why it is they did that. There's a huge backlash on that, potential lawsuits coming out, but this was his reasoning on what happened, and here it is. So in order to do this, now we all know at this point, if you haven't caught up, that the stocks were spiking. I've got some updates on that, and this is all part of this battle against hedge funds, and then hedge funds battling against individual traders from a Reddit post. All of that is established. But what happened there is Robinhood, being a stock trader, is required to have a large amount of capital ready to basically pay out if they need to pay out or to handle different situations that come up. It's a legal requirement that they have. And they received, according to Vlad Tenev, a phone call at 3 a.m. on whatever night that was, Tuesday night, I believe it was, saying that they needed to deposit about $3 billion into this fund. At the time, Robinhood had about $2 billion in capital. So they don't even have that much. It's an extra $1 billion. So naturally, that was a big deal. In order to get them to lower that amount, and the organization that handles this, I'll get their exact name, but it's a federal organization that handles the National Securities Clearing Corporation. So they're the ones that are requesting this money. They have the legal right to do so. Now, in order to get them to lower that amount, since they didn't have it, that's why he is saying they ended up suspending purchasing on some of those stocks and then later kind of messing around with those limits. But they said they had to do that in order to get clearance to put in a less amount of money and to make sure that they could still stay up and running. That's what he's saying. There's a lot more complicated financial details in there, but that's the basic premise of it. It's interesting seeing this and hearing this from behind the scenes. I will say this, Clubhouse, it's relatively new, but hearing Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, interview the CEO of Robinhood at a time when no other time has Robinhood been more important or more in the news than right now. It was kind of an interesting thing to hear. Some more updates, though, on this. If you are looking to get into the stocks trade, looking to purchase some GameStop stocks and everything else with that, here are the details. Now, this just came out right before we went on air earlier today. So Robinhood, raised $2.8 billion over the last day or so. So they announced that they have $2.8 billion more dollars, which means they can handle more. With that, they raised the amount of stock that you can buy on those. It looks like from 1 to 4 as of right now. You can purchase up to 4 stocks, I believe, on AMC, or 10 shares of AMC. And that's changing then for GameStop to maybe up to 4 is where we're at right now, meaning you could purchase more of those. However, if you're looking to get into this and maybe make some quick cash on the short sale, GameStop stock is plummeting right now. So it's down as of this moment around 50% of what it was, which is still many, many times what it was worth about 2 weeks ago. But nonetheless, it seems to be kind of evening back out a little bit on that. AMC is still going up. it is a wild ride that is happening with this. The bottom line, though, is giving you that kind of information, just a little bit more of an understanding. These lawsuits aren't going to be going away. We talked to Winnie's son about this last week, and she also confirmed that there's going to be more that's going to be happening. Regulations, Congress is going to get involved. She thinks there's going to be a movie maybe out of this, and I kind of agree. There is a lot that's going to be happening. Whatever's going on behind the scenes, we'll find out more as it unfurls. But this is where we're at right now with Robinhood. So if you want to try to get in on it and take a bet on that stock, looks like you can go do it on Robinhood right now, but I don't know. I would kind of take a look at where the trends seem to be heading if you plan to get rich quick off of this. All right. Continuing on with some other trending news. We like to talk about tech in all kinds of different facets, and this is kind of low tech but high tech at the same time, and it has to do with Nike coming out with a new shoe. Now, you're probably expecting me to talk about the Hyperlace or Hyper Adapt, where you have the laces that tie themselves. That's not this. This essentially is using tech to make slip-on shoes more feasible. I am a fan of slip-on shoes. I am a fan of also ruining my shoes by stepping on the heel and hopping out of them because for some reason it's too much work to untie them. That's not a good thing on my end, but this is something that could help out with that. So it's called the Go Fly Ease, and that's what they're looking at. So the tech actually behind it is pretty interesting. It's basically the shoe will sit at about a 30-degree angle, so you can easily slip your foot in or out of it. It will pop up on this little hinge, so it's kind of a shoe within a shoe, to get a little bit meta there. A shoe within a shoe, and then that is how you're able to slide in and out of this. There's a few reasons they're doing this. One is that they're saying just in this time of all working from home, pandemics, a lot of us, are at home and we want something quick and easy we can slip on and off that's still comfortable and would work for a number of different things. It's also for people who do have disabilities and are unable to necessarily, or it's a real hassle to have to lean over and tie your shoe. That is people, unlike me, who's just lazy, the people who actually have issues. And that's something that I think is great. So it kind of adds this hands-free element to it. And on top of that, they're saying that's, it's accessibility first, as I was mentioning. That's what they're going for with this. And it's kind of a cool evolvement of this tech. There's still going to be some more Hyper Adapt things that will come out, some more laces tying themselves, but this is where they're at with this. I'm a fan of them. I will say it's going to be, it's a bit of a steep price. It's $120. I guess that's not that steep for brand new Nikes. $120. They're going to be out here later on in February. At first, they're saying just to Nike Club members, but then it's going to roll out to the wider populace after that. But that is what they've had here. So this is, again, the Nike Go Fly Ease hands-free shoe design that they have created. Definitely making some news today. All right, some other trending things to take a look at. Let's talk about Amazon for a minute. Now, I mentioned, the pandemic. The way that we shop is changing. That was bound to change anyway. It's certainly been accelerated. And you see places like the Amazon Go stores popping up more and more to where you walk in, it scans it, it's a cashierless experience. And then you also have Kroger testing out different things. Well, this is another way that Amazon has been trying this out. And it's been out for a little bit, but it's going to be expanding. And it's using something that they use where you scan your palm in order to either make payment and get into the stores. So it's called Amazon One is the name of the system. They've tested this out for a while. The idea is this: you walk in, you hold your hand over a little scanner, it scans your palm. That scan identifies you, is tied to a credit card within the system or an Amazon account. So an Amazon Prime account, and then that's how they know who you are. They said that the palm itself is a really unique and precise way to identify people. No two palms are alike. They can use standard cameras. It'll scan both the, like a standard palm reading of your hand. I don't think you're going to get your, astrological horoscope off of it, but what it will do is also be able to tell other things just beneath the skin as well, whether that's blood vessels and however else they scan this. That data is then stored in the cloud. So here's a couple of things with that. The system itself is going to be expanding to more Amazon Go stores and some other stores that Amazon owns as well. In case you didn't know, they're making a big push into brick and mortar. This is kind of a target for Amazon to go into that. It's one area they haven't conquered yet. So they're going for that. So you're going to see more of these coming into Seattle at first, but that means it's going to be going elsewhere. I want to know how people feel about this. How do you feel about biometric data of your palm? There's a lot of data we give out there already for ourselves. I mean, thumbprints that we have on our phones, although, ostensibly that's secure. They're saying this would be secure too and tied just to you. But it is giving over more data. that they could use for any number of different things. And I guess it's kind of at that point where we have to decide whether that's the security and the idea that you're not touching anything. And I will say this, the idea that you're not touching anything is something that that I am a big fan of. I said this before. I'm fine with not having to interact with anybody. Go in. If I don't have to touch anything, okay, great. But you are handing over that data to them. They said, as always with any of these, they're saying it's secure, it's tied just to you, and that you can delete it at any time. But what do you think about that? How do you feel about handing over your data? And this is, again, you have to opt into this. It's not something you're required to do, but it is another way that we can go about, securing data and having it secured just to you. So that aspect of it, I think, is good. Handing over more biometric data. There's also the argument that at this point, what does it matter anyway? They already know everything about us. So maybe that's something that you're comfortable with. But that is something you will be seeing at more Amazon stores. So it's the Amazon One system where it reads your palm if you opt in for a hands-free shopping experience. All right. Something else from Amazon. We're talking about data, and they've just released a treasure trove of information about what they have been up to and what's gone on with a few different platforms, but mainly we're going to talk about Amazon Ring. Now, if you own a Ring camera or Ring security system, then you know about some of the different ways that you can tie in with your neighborhood and community. We'll talk about that. But also they released information about law enforcement and what kind of information they have been soliciting and requesting from Amazon. And there's some pretty interesting things. Right now, in case you didn't know, Amazon and their Ring system does partner with local law enforcement agencies in the United States. They said they're now up to 48 states that they have different partnerships with, at least throughout those states. I think it's Montana and Wyoming, and I could have those two states wrong, but they're about the only two that are not involved in that. Now, that's over 2,000 departments that they are working with, law enforcement agencies. What this allows them to do is to reach out to individual Ring owners, who is somebody who has a camera in the neighborhood, say there's a crime that happened, they can reach out to them and ask them for data or for videos from their camera. They can't just take it unless they get a warrant in certain situations, and Amazon says they have to comply with some of those to where they have given out some details and some information. Now, one of the big things when it comes to security cameras is, yes, we like to have things secure. Yeah, you want to know if there's some major crime going on in your neighborhood, if something that can help out, and especially if you think about some huge issue that's happening, there's a murder or something in your neighborhood. Yeah, you'd want to help out with that. But that is also, again, giving out a lot of data. They do say you have to opt in to a certain extent with that. Now, if you are, as I said before, a Ring user, you know about the neighborhood app, the neighborhood part that you can join, which is where you can post videos for other people in your community. It's really a lot like Nextdoor, only with camera footage, and you get a lot of the same kind of people that are on Nextdoor. So it's not always the most pleasant place to be, but it's something that you can be a part of as well when it comes to that. But this handing over information to law enforcement, definitely a big deal. Definitely a big thing that's going on there, and a big trend that we're seeing. Another part that they said with this data they put out was that they've had an 800% increase in governmental agencies requesting data from Amazon in regards to Ring and related products. Again, that's to be expected. The more you see these things proliferate, the more people that are getting involved, you would expect that to increase. But still, an 800% increase, that's a pretty big deal. So it's something to be aware of, something to think about. And just if you are a Ring owner, if you do have this, they have started out some end-to-end encryption options that are going to be coming out. But make sure you read the fine print of what you opt into. If this is a concern of yours, double check the things that app is asking. Make sure that you know what it is that you're agreeing to. And as usual, you can opt out of certain things, some things maybe not. So pay attention to that, but that is what Ring is releasing when it comes to this information. So over 2,000 law enforcement agencies they have partnered with, 800% increase in governmental requests. All right, final thing here for you to get this week started. And again, we'd just like to keep you up to date on some cool things. So here is one. Free video games. Everybody likes free video games. These are free trials that you can try out coming up on Wednesday. It's coming from Steam for their Steam Game Festival. And this is an annual thing that they have where they're going to have up to 500 different playable demos from indie developers. This is going to be something that you can test out, but also they're going to have live stream chats and panel discussions and all kinds of different ways that you can get involved with this. Last year, it was canceled because of the game developers conference being canceled, just like a lot of other things. So now they're bringing it back, and it's virtual. So it's all going to be, Zoom chats in theory, or live streamed chats with these different game developers. But still, 500 games from all kinds of different categories, all kinds of different ways that you can play, whether it's role-playing games, action games, fantasy games, a lot of cool things on there. And part of the fun of this is that, one of these could break out and be a hit, and you could get to try it out before anybody else. Or you just see where maybe some trends are. I like the idea of games that are kind of pushing the envelope, trying out different ways that you can even game, different ideas. Some of those work, some of them don't, but it's really cool to get a chance to see what people are coming up with. So that's on Wednesday. You can sign up for that. It's part of their February Steam Game Festival. And so it's going to last for 6 days that you can join in on that. So free video games, that's a good thing to start the week off. That's happening on Wednesday. All right. We keep you up to date with what is trending in tech, but we have a lot of stuff too at YouTube, youtube.com/2boxmedia, TWO Box Media. Go follow us on there. We've got an update on what you can stream in February. I mentioned Winnie Sun earlier with a more in-depth explanation, a better explanation of Robinhood and everything that is going on with that. You can follow that as well. We've got a video there that will really nicely walk through what's happening and talk about some of the potential ramifications, what could be on the horizon. There's a lot developing with that, so we'll keep you up to date with that throughout the week. So a lot there. And I will say thank you to everybody who's following us, who's sharing the show, who's letting other people know about it. This is important. TWO Box Media, thanks for watching. On behalf of Mike Solis, Jess Serba, I'm Greg Nibbler. We'll talk to you on Friday with another edition.